This is a waste heat harvester that I invented. It's basically made of stainless steel. It sits over your fireplace. It replaces a concrete flue support. There's about 2,500 to 3,000 of these manufactured every year in Ireland alone. They're made of concrete and they serve no purpose other than to support your chimney or the flues within your chimney. This device, as I say, is made of stainless steel. It's everlasting, has no moving parts. Air from within your house is circulated via a fan through this bottom pipe here. It goes around and around inside the inner chamber, and it basically comes out here out the top and is pumped away wherever you want in the house. It's continuously recycled, and each time it goes through then it gets hotter and hotter. The same with the water chamber. Now the water chamber is basically similar to a back boiler, but it's placed over the fire where it's most efficient. Now the water goes in here, and again it goes around and around and around inside, and it basically comes back out the top here at this pipe. Now this pipe here goes all the way to the top at the back of the unit, right? So when we left this into LIT, now before the unit went into LIT it had some white paint splashed on the inside and the outside of it. Now I cleaned the outside, but luckily I did not clean the inside of it. And when it went into LIT to test it, they had to light a fire under it, and they produced a report. Anyway, it is dated the 31st of November. So the report was, on paper, it was pretty good, as it had a 75% efficiency, and I took that as face value, as assumed it had been produced in good faith. But when I went in to remove the unit then from LIT some 12 months later, whilst placing it in my van, I discovered that the white marks were still in pretty good condition, which indicated to me that no fire was lit under it. And basically that then opened a tin of worms. After discovering no fire was lit under it, I immediately met the guy who'd done the report, and I asked him to accompany me to the van to explain the white marks. And whilst on our way, I asked him to show me where in LIT it was tested. He was unable to do so, and informed me it was at his house. Now the agreement was to test it at my house, where there was pretty good facilities to test it, but I was encouraged, we'll use the word encouraged, to bring it in to LIT to where he could test it, or so he said anyway. Now when we brought the unit back from LIT, we were replicating some tests carried out. Now the guy on the report, he says he uses 10 litres of water, so we installed 10 litres of water in it, and then we discovered that no water comes out the top pipe. So we had to investigate the level of water then inside in it. So we drilled a little hole here on the top, so filled it in with some weld, and we found that 10 litres of water only comes to about 70 mil from the top. That's the yellow line. So that indicated then that there was no test carried out on it, because he had in his report he had water leaving this unit here at 62 degrees, whilst his graph shows 87 degrees. Now I then got a guy down from Athlone Thermal Imaging in Ireland to replicate this test that the LIT had produced, and immediately on seeing the unit in my backyard, he informed me it was not tested. And I said to him, how do you know that? He says, well, you can't test stainless steel with a thermal imaging camera, because the reflection from the stainless steel interferes with the readings on the camera. So we had to go away and purchase some black paint to paint the unit black. So then that opened up some more worms. We discovered then that he had, for example, the water chamber here is on the outside of the air chamber. The air chamber now is closest to the heat source, and he had the water chamber, for example, hotter than the air chamber by 2 to 1. It should be the other way around, by 3 to 1. So another indication of no test. He basically produced a report and had done no test, and he'd never have been cut out other than the white marks, and he would have continued to claim 2 more innovation vouchers from Enterprise Ireland and continued to fool me.